What's up, speaker moguls? This is Kelly with Bankable Brands Unleashed, where we talk all things personal branding, professional speaking, and unapologetic badassery. Now, today we're going to be talking about how to overcome your fear and anxiety with public speaking. So, Wall Street Journal did a survey, I think it was back in 2017, and what they found was that people's number one fear was the fear of public speaking. This was over like getting in a car crash or any other fear that there might be, that it was the fear of public speaking. What is that? The fear of speaking in public. It might be in front of a classroom. It might be in front of an audience. It might just be in front of your peers, but people do have this fear of public speaking. And I'll tell you that even though now that I'm a professional speaker and I was a trial attorney for over 24 years, when I was in college, I took a class called public speaking, and I could not stand it. I could not stand for the teacher to call on me. I didn't want to get up and give my speech. I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to talk in front of anybody. I didn't want to do any of the things, right? I just had this real fear around it. I don't know why, but I had this fear. Some people, it's a fear because they don't want people looking at them. They think that they're not smart enough, that, people aren't going to listen to them, that people are going to make fun of them. They may be, uncomfortable with the way they look or something about themselves that, they don't think that they stand up, right? And will look good in front of other people, or they'll sound good in front of other people. So there's all kinds of reasons why people have fear. And it's interesting because, so I was in college, and then I went on to get, my MBA, and then I went off to law school. And the fear mostly went away. I'll say it mostly went away because I had to go speak in front of people. I had to practice, I had to do the things. When I was in law school, I was in moot court and I was in appellate advocacy. And so I had to get up and speak in front of other people. But when I started practicing law, listen, that fear came back. I remember this so vividly. I had my very first trial. It was a DUI, driving under the influence trial. And, everything was set up. We were, in court. My client was with me. I was a public defender. So my client was with me. The prosecutor was there. The judge was there. It was, we're getting ready for the jury to come in so that we could start to do jury selection. And when I tell you, I was at my desk, and underneath my desk, my knees were like knocking together. I was so afraid. I was terrified, right, that I was going to have to now like get up and present this case and do what I needed to do in front of this jury. And again, this is after I've had all this training, in law school and all the things that I did. And so I was fortunate that when I was a public defender, my mother was a judicial assistant and she worked upstairs. So one of my coworkers was in the courtroom with me, and I was like, can you go get my mom? Can you please go get my mom? And so they went upstairs and they got my mom, and she came down and she sat in the courtroom. And when she sat in that courtroom, all of a sudden, like all the fear went away, because I had this person who believed in me wholeheartedly, who I knew had my back. She was like my source of comfort and strength. And so she was there, and I was able to, get up, my knees stopped knocking, and I was able to get up and do what I needed to do in order to present my case to the jury. But I understand, right, that there is this fear. I understand that there is anxiety that comes with it. It's interesting because now I can speak in front of anyone. Like I could speak in front of a small crowd. I could speak in front of a huge crowd. It doesn't matter. Do you know when I don't like speaking and when I get like kind of anxiety around speaking is in a networking event? That one-on-one connection to just go into this space and be like, hey, I'm Kelly, how are you, right? Or interrupt somebody, like a group of people as they're speaking, or interject in that group of people. I still don't like that, right? I still have that kind of resistance around that. So I truly understand when people say that they have a fear of public speaking. But public speaking, right, or being able to speak in public and to communicate with other people is such a vital skill when it comes to being successful, because people want to hear you. They want to know that they can trust you. They want to know that you understand, or that they can understand you, right? And so to the extent that, you can speak, to the extent that there's nothing that a disability that you may have, which we understand, right, that may cause you from communicating, to the extent that you can communicate verbally, it's important for you to try to do so. And so what I wanted to do is to just give you 5 tips today to help you to overcome your public speaking fear or anxiety. So one is to practice. So if you have a speech, if you have a presentation, if you're going to be in a play, whatever it is that you're going to be, where you're going to have to communicate verbally to other people, and you're feeling some type of, resistance or anxiety or fear or, trepidation, anything that you're feeling that you're not feeling so comfortable, you don't feel powerful, what I want you to do is practice. Now, here's the thing. For me, if I practice too much and I start to memorize, then when I go say it, if I mess up, that messes with me, because then I'm like, oh, but I was supposed to say whatever. The people don't even know, right? The people who are listening have zero idea that I messed up or that I was supposed to say something, but in my mind, I do. So figure out a way for you that practicing, maybe it's just practicing, going out on the stage. Maybe it's just practicing, speaking, but not necessarily what you're going to be speaking about. Maybe it is practicing exactly what it is that you're going to be speaking about, so that you're comfortable with how it comes out. You're comfortable with the tone. You're comfortable with the speed. You're comfortable with the words, right? Sometimes we write things, but when we go to say it, it's not as easy to say it as it is to read it, right, on a piece of paper, or to, when we write it down. So make sure that you go and you practice, right? Whatever practice means to you, that's one way to overcome your fear, right? Or to at least reduce the fear and anxiety. The second way is just do it scared. Right? Just do it scared. And scared doesn't mean that doing it scared doesn't mean that you have to be like, oh, I'm fearless, right? No, you're just going to be courageous, right? You are going to be courageous, and you're going to go out there, and despite the fact that you are afraid, you're going to go do it anyway. So you'll hear me talk about that. Do it scared is one of the things that I, in my book, Unapologetic AF, 34 Ways to Unleash Your Inner Badass. It's one of the 34 Kellyisms is to do it scared. So, just no matter what it is, no matter how like you feel like, oh my gosh, I could never do this. Yes, you can, right? But just do it scared. Just summon up the courage, right, to do it. So do it scared. Third is breathe. So here's a tip. Like if you're going on stage, or even if your stage is like a live stage, or if it's a podcast, if it's just a Zoom, like a Zoom training, wherever it is, you set the tempo. Don't allow people to rush you. So like when you get on the stage, or, someone introduces you, say for instance, you're on virtual and someone introduces you and they say, oh, hi, Kelly, or can you introduce yourself? Or, they've introduced you and then they pop the first question on you. Just take a deep breath. Thank you. I'm so glad that you have me here, right? Or I'm Kelly Charles Collins and blah, blah, blah. And then you give whatever your bio is, or whatever, however you want to introduce yourself, but give yourself that chance to breathe. Same thing when you're going on stage. Walk out to the stage, take a, look side, that'll give you time to breathe, and then start. You don't have to start as soon as you get on the stage. You don't have to be like on as soon as you get on the stage. You can give yourself that grace to be able to breathe, center yourself, take it all in, and then start speaking, right? So number 3 is to breathe. Number 4, mistakes happen. They happen, right? We mess up. What we thought we were going to say, we didn't say. Oh my gosh, I forgot the whole part of my speech. Most people don't even know. They've never heard the speech before. They didn't write the speech. So they don't know. Only you know that you messed up. So if you make a mistake, keep going. Sometimes I make a mistake and I'll just own it, right? Like, oh, I shouldn't, that's not what I meant to say. Or, oops, the phone just rang. Something happens. I might acknowledge it, or sometimes I'll just act like it didn't happen, right? You decide how you want to do that. Most times I will acknowledge it because it's just something that's happening. And sometimes people realize, either they'll realize from your face or maybe some, a change in your body or whatever. So just acknowledge it. We're all human. They've all made mistakes. And when you do acknowledge those mistakes, it makes you more human to them, right? And so they're more connected to you because they already think that you're above, right? That you have some level of status because you're the one speaking. So when you do things like that, when you acknowledge your humanity, then it allows them to have a deeper connection to you, or connection to you, like, oh, okay, she's just one of us, right? She's one of us. I feel connected. Let me lean in some more, right? So make sure that you understand mistakes happen and don't worry about it. And then number 5 is embrace your expert status, right? So I just said, you're the one on stage. You're the one who is presenting to people. You're the one who they came to listen to. You're the one they paid to come to listen to, right? So you're the expert. You have the status in that room. So just embrace that and stand in your power, right? Because you're the one that has the information that people are coming to gain and listen to. So use that as your power center, use that as the core to help you to stand up straight and to help you to overcome any type of fear or anxiety that you're having. So 5 easy things, 5 tips for you to overcome your fear and anxiety in public speaking. Number 1, practice. Number 2, do it scared. Number 3, breathe. Number 4, understand that mistakes happen. And number 5, embrace your expert status. So I hope that was helpful to you. Let me know in the comments, like, comment, share, and make sure you subscribe so that you can see all the videos that I'm going to be doing all around personal branding, professional speaking, and unapologetic badassery. All right, y'all. Until next time, take care.